Check out Putin's walk. You see, here he is walking. He swings his left arm, but his right arm always stays by his side. And they think it's because of his KGB training, okay? They're calling Putin's walk a gunslinger's gait, because his right hand is always in position to pull a gun from his pocket.
It was recently announced that Vladimir Putin has won the right to extend his rule until 2036 in a landslide vote. The constitutional amendments reset the two-term presidential limit to 0, allowing Putin to run for another 2 6-year terms after his current term ends in 2024. As president or prime minister, Putin has led Russia for more than 2 decades, and when he runs in the next elections in 2024 and 2030, he will be in charge longer than any ruler since Peter the Great. Yes, even longer than Joseph Stalin. Putin would be 83 by the time of the 2036 election. Copies of Russia's new constitution went on sale in bookstores days before the results were known. Of course, Putin has made many humorous headlines over the years.
Putin is finally addressing an international scandal that's hounded him all week. Accusations he stole a Super Bowl ring from New England Patriots owner Robert Kraft. Putin's response, what ring?
I neither remember Mr. Kraft nor the ring.
But he says he does remember some souvenirs being exchanged.
Отпечатки пальцев. Отпечатки копыт, скажите, рогов, чьи эти отпечатки? Значит, IP-адреса, их можно вообще придумать. Знаете, сколько много специалистов? Они сделают так, что это с вашего адреса, с домашнего. Дети ваши послали, младший ваш ребенок 3-летнего возраста. Так все организуют, что это именно ваша девочка 3-летняя совершила эту атаку. Такие специалисты сегодня в мире в сфере этих технологий.
As well as schooling CIA operatives. Sorry, American journalists.
Let's move on. A special counsel has been appointed to investigate.
Putin has caused controversy over the annexation of Crimea, bounty programs in Afghanistan, poisoning of former spies, and the treatment of political opponents at home. Putin's net worth has been a source of intense speculation. He reportedly has access to over 20 palaces and villas, the most notable of which is known as the not-so-secret Secret Palace, which cost $1 billion to build and is reported to be almost 8 million square feet. Putin critic Boris Nemtsov, who was assassinated in 2015, produced a dossier claiming that Putin owned multiple private jets, helicopters and yachts. Speaking of yachts, the dossier claimed Putin has a collection of 4 yachts, the most notable of which, the Rossiya, was upgraded in 2005 for a staggering cost of $1.2 billion. Quick side note and disclaimer, this is not yacht advice, but if you do have a yacht, take a look at what Chelsea owner Roman Abramovich did with Eclipse, his super yacht valued at up to $1.5 billion. Now, as well as having 2 helipads, 2 swimming pools and 6 movie screens in all guest cabins, a mini submarine and a missile defense system, Eclipse has an anti-paparazzi shield. Lasers sweep the surroundings, and when they detect a CCD, they fire bolts of light right at the camera to obliterate any photograph. They don't run all the time, clearly, but they are activated when guards spot paparazzi loitering nearby. Speaking of Roman Abramovich, the Russian oligarch reportedly gifted Putin the $35 million yacht Olympia in 2002. In 2005, Abramovich sold his company Sibneft to state-run Gazprom and pocketed $13 billion. Now that is a nice trade. Speaking of Russian oligarchs, it is rumored that all oligarchs must pay the Putin tax.
And so one by one, they went back to Putin and said, Vladimir, what do we have to do to not sit in a cage? And he said 50%. Not 50% for the Russian government, not 50% for the presidential administration of Russia, 50% for Vladimir Putin.
We can see where the power lies in these relationships. Much like how one would pet a dog or a child, Putin rubs the head of Arkady Rotenberg, a former judo instructor who became a billionaire thanks to Putin. And of course, Putin is no stranger to putting his oligarchs in check.
Олег Владимирович подписал? Что я не вижу вашей подписи? Идите, пишите. Идите ко мне. Да, договор. Только вторичку у меня, видите?
classic Putin.
According to US political scientist Karen DeWisher, he takes what he wants. When you are president of Russia, you don't need a written contract. You are the law. Putin utilizes various offshore structures to keep his wealth hidden. Documents leaked from Mossack Fonseca, the Panama-based law firm implicated in the Panama Papers, provided a glimpse as to how Putin's cronies secretly conduct their business. The law firm's internal files show how minions and proxies created structures to hide and move the secret wealth. A Kremlin spokesperson described the media articles as an attack and a series of fibs. Loyalty and long-held relationships help bind the network together. It is a fraternity of Putin confidants. If they are loyal, then they can keep their status as billionaires roaming the seas in super yachts. A mafia-type structure where omerta is the code. Nobody mentions the name Putin, ever. Those that don't stay in line are made examples of.
At the end of 2003, he decided to make his big move. And his big move was to arrest the richest man in Russia, Michael Khodorkovsky, the owner of an oil company called Yukos, off of his jet in Siberia. He brought him back to Moscow, he put him on trial, and he allowed the television cameras to come into the courtroom to film the richest man in Russia on trial sitting in a cage. Putin likes money, he likes it a lot, wants to get it, started getting it, but he doesn't keep any of that money in his own name. So the way he accumulates wealth is that he has these people that are oligarch trustees. So when you see a rich Russian on the Forbes list or wherever, that person is only half as rich as the Forbes thing says, because the other half of the money is Vladimir Putin's.
But what is the true extent of Putin's wealth?
I estimate that his wealth is $200 billion. And all that money
makes him
the richest man in the world.
This is the real kicker. Putin is fiercely intelligent and realized early on that whatever system is claimed, whether society claims to be capitalist or communist, the globe has been a plutocracy since time immemorial. To truly have the power, Putin knew that he must have the fortune. Putin and Russia fit perfectly into the global model of control.
Это штамп, который навязывается общественному мнению западных стран для решения внутриблоковых и внутриполитических вопросов. Для того, чтобы внутриблоковых, это значит, что для того, чтобы сплачивать вокруг себя страны, скажем, НАТО, нужна обязательно внешняя угроза. Иначе не обеспечит этого сплочения.
Don't get me wrong, Putin is no angel. The dude is cold and ruthless, and is pretty much a modern-day emperor. However, that doesn't change the fact that every time I hear him talk, I like him more. Perhaps that is an indictment of the quality of politicians in the West.
У нас, знаете, как говорят в народе? У нас говорят так: кому суждено быть повешенным, тот не утонет.
What is your fate, sir? Do you know?
Одному Господу известны наши судьбы, и ваша, и моя.